afternoon, 1:30 p.m. and welcome to another edition of RunChatLive. It's been a while. I think it's been about 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something, because things have been changing at my end a little bit. You can see I'm no longer in the clinic. I'm at home in civilian attire, because those of you who are local to Brighton and Hove, Studio 57 and Stride UK are relocating. So we're actually going to be setting up, well, by April, beginning of April, we're going to be in the middle of Hove Park, which is fantastic. I'm very excited about that, because we'll be able to look after all you Hove Park park runners. And also we're going to be along New Church Road. So websites will be the same. Have a look. And yeah, I'll be working for consultation more than anything. So if you do need me, email me, matt@runchatlive.com. And then we can sort out time for me to look after you, whether it be injury, pain, running technique, and that sort of thing. But anyway, so here we are, and welcome to my office. Dun, dun, dun. Very excited about bringing you today somebody who I tried to get in about a month ago or 2 months ago, but she was coming down from a mountain, as you do. And that is the wonderful Lisa Shabbas, who is going to be joining us very soon. She's just, I can see her waiting down in the lobby for us. So what can I say about Lisa to introduce her? Well, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, there you go. That's pretty much all you need to know. The history is fantastic. I'm looking forward to you finding all about her past, her present, and then hopefully joining her, because she's very active now over Instagram and Facebook, joining her for her future. So without further ado, let me bring up the wonderful Lisa Shabbas. There we go, Lisa Shabbas in the house.
Good to see
now you'll notice
you.
that Lisa's not from our part of the world, but I will be adding subtitles to the YouTube video. Where are you from, Lisa? Share.
Glasgow. Walk slowly.
Yeah, so don't worry if you find it hard to understand. It's not your computer. Don't touch your picture. It's just quite a strong Glaswegian accent. But that's fine, because it's fine. It's good. It'll make you concentrate. How are you doing?
I'm all right, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad to see the beanie.
Oh, always the beanie. It's been great. I've been absolutely fantastic. I've been using your tips for my runs. Spot on. You're in the books.
I'm honoured to be part of your journey, which anyone who follows Instagram and Facebook at the moment is fantastic. I think I've already seen you take a shower twice today.
Yeah.
And swim. Yeah. So it's yeah, it's wicked. So thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
So where do we start? Let's imagine that people are watching this who don't know anything about you. What did you do this morning?
So this morning, my usual little routine, I go down and I meet a great bunch of people. Got up at about 6 a.m, had a cold shower first at the front, put on some tunes, did my tribal moves, and the endorphins flying. Whatever happened yesterday is washed off. And then a wee run up, meet the crew, sea swim, cup of tea, boom. Loved it.
And the sea swims become... I'm not a big swimmer. Yeah, I'm not a big swimmer, but I mean the sea swims become quite a regular thing for you, isn't it?
Massively. And to be honest, Matt, come down, because there was a guy in this morning and it had been a while and he was procrastinating, and I said, look, if you're resisting something, it always means you should do it, and it'll be a pivotal point. We only waded in, we giggled, we shouted, not a serious swim this morning, but we get the endorphins going, and he went home, boom, on fire before his flight today. So happy days.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, you do definitely all look better for it, and it seems to be a great yeah, gang you've got going down there. So we'll get into more the ins and outs of the science behind why you're all stripping down and jumping into the sea in March in Brighton. But before then, I mean, I spotted you on social media and just thought, wow, this girl has got some, I'm trying to think what it would be in English now, but just a hook. It's like very captivating, and the content of what you're saying, the way you were saying it and everything, which is why I kind of reached out to you and we hooked up, and Now you're all over but the running magazine I write for is my subject and gait analysis. So
Awesome.
I'll put a link to that later on. There should be some online photos as well. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, it was fascinating because I think I joined just the right time, because you've got such a fantastic present and future lined up. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the past first of all.
Yeah.
Your dark, shady past. Yeah, open the closet door.
Come on, bring it in.
But hey, it's the past which makes us the person we are, doesn't it?
Certainly, and and if we don't learn from it, we stay stuck there. So awesome to share.
Okay, so let's this isn't a particularly old photo, but I think the reason that you're here and yeah, the reason you're doing what you're doing in this photo kind of takes us back to where you came from. So let's have a look. I'm going to make myself little if I can and just bring you and that person in there. So what's going on in this photo?
Right, so that was when I came out of the military and just transcended into female bodyguarding. I made a lot of good contacts with a lot of the SF guys, started security firms, and this was myself and Katy Perry. So yeah, we were brought in for her in Morocco and then Paris. Yeah.
So there's quite a lot said in that subject there, which you've kind of just mentioned as if it was like, so hold on, you were in the military then?
I'd left the military, Matt, so that was a good, I'd been in the circuit a few years, so that was probably a good 6-7 years since I'd left the military.
And how did a girl from Glasgow end up in the military? Surely there's enough fighting on the streets of Glasgow for you to...
That was the trouble. I'm trying to hide all my machetes. No.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, how did you end up in the military?
On a serious note, yeah, I was a rough diamond. I was going down the wrong route. Without saying too much, my dad was a bit of a man in Glasgow and connected, and you know, big pond, small fish, and one thing led to the other, and few incidents. Life hits us all, and I kind of had to step up to protect the family, and then I kind of got into that kind of Glasgow scene. I was getting arrested. I wasn't. Yeah, I had to turn my life around. So when enough was enough, I walked straight into the office, the military, to join up and to put me in the straight and narrow.
And how was that for you? I mean, at the time, was there many women in your situation? How old would you have been at the time, more or less?
Oh, it was later, Matt. I was 20, 21.
And did you stand out from day one for being...
I did. I probably got into trouble more in there than I did outside. It took a while to break the ego, the kind of everything down, and to be told what to do, and the discipline. And it wasn't really. I still couldn't respect someone just because they had 2 wee stripes. But because I had that attitude, I got in touch with the men. A lot of my peers that were going off in treks to do like the Cairngorms and the Three Peaks Challenge. Although I was into trouble, I sussed these men out, and they knew that I had grit. So I managed to get a SF posting to the Royal Marine Base, and that's where I met the big boys, and it kind of all progressed from there. Was allowed to go on a pre-commando course because I was training for a certain branch, and they don't allow women into the command course, but they allowed me to go in the pre-command, and boom, we were tested. I saw integrity. I saw strength, respect, teamwork, and yeah, it took a while, but then I respected those men, that unit, and absolutely loved it. And brilliant. I think whenever we are in life, we've got to seriously question why we're here, and we can always turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, listening to you already now, it's I don't know, hopefully other people, obviously people listening to the podcast won't be able to see you, but as always, that's why I like recording this as a video, because sometimes, some people have a great voice, but you've got the voice and the look as well, and listening to you just talking about it, you go from kind of, crazy, kind of wacky, to, And it's like the eyes and the face changes, and it's like, wow, this person's really got, which I suppose is part of your success personally with fitness and also with helping other people get fit. But anyway, so yeah, the military was there, and I think, for example, that led you to sticking with these guys. And what's going on in this picture here?
Yeah, that was another wee group. So that was actually my brother-in-law's company. He, a funny story, we were doing a scenario of an attack in Blandford in a camp, and we all had camouflage, and they gave me the smoke bomb, and I couldn't open the
You can take a girl out of Glasgow. We apologise if you've been offended by any of the language used so far today. Yeah, continue. Yes.
Namaste. So this camouflage thing came beside me, opened the smoke bomb, and he went, "Throw it now." And I threw it. Now that guy turned out to be, he was in the special forces, great guy, and he ended up marrying my sister.
All right.
So although I couldn't stay in the military because I ask questions, and I don't really believe in a lot of the things that kind of go on, so it did me well.
Yeah.
The grip.
Definitely.
And then I got a brother-in-law and a lovely little niece from it. So, yeah.
Wicked, beautiful.
Everything was a silver lining.
Exactly. And there's another one of you there with the guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because obviously, I've kind of, when I describe you to other people, I'm very big, maybe it's the age I've got at now, but I'm very big in trying to help girls, especially young girls, have better role models.
Yeah.
So I remember when we chatted to Elizabeth Barnes, who I think you've connected up with now, a while ago. I chatted to her, and it's quite funny. I mean, I didn't mean it to sound funny, but I kind of basically said, why is it the TV's full of Kim Kardashian and there's none of you on there? You know, because girls are growing up with all these kind of, no disrespect to Kim Kardashian. If she wants to come on RunChatLive, that's fine, to defend herself. But it's just full of it, isn't it? The celebrities, the TVs, it's all, the media just create this is what you should be if you're a woman. This is your aspirations. And it's just why. The media is so guilty without getting too political or anything.
No, and I loved that. I loved when you and Elizabeth Barnes, what a legend, what a role model she is. Calm, confident, what an athlete. And I loved that podcast you did with her because there's so many women like that around us. And yes, we can bring out our strengths, but we don't need to hide behind the paparazzi or the special lives or look up at people that aren't really role models. So the more we can spread it, and you can be strong. I went through my stuff and I'm strong, but I'm still vulnerable. I'll still go in the water sometimes if I've had a bad day. I'll watch a movie, I'll shed a tear, I'll let it out. We've got a lot of strengths and vulnerability. When I stop a run and and I go through the line with some of the guys and our reserves are down and we're connected, it's a very special, vulnerable feeling, and it's a strength. So the more we can get these women into that mindset, I think, I'm a big believer for that.
Definitely. No, I mean, that's part of the strength of women comes in that they're not afraid to have a cry. They're not afraid to show their feelings. Yeah. I think a lot of guys get weak because they are. And we only got to look at the problems with mental awareness and all of that with guys, and it's all in the news, and guys committing suicide, and obviously women go through that as well, but for men in particular, because they're scared to talk about it, because it's not macho. I think it's a very big topic at the moment. It's
huge. I take some into the water and they're going through divorces and they're being told not to cry and man up, and it's like, what kind of phase is
man up?
That?
Yeah.
And we go, let it out, shout, scream, giggle, and we whoop, we do try, we just, whatever we can just to get that out and to connect with one another. We're not that different from one another once we let all the walls down.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because that's a nice kind of link to our next thing. You say we're not that different from one another. Let's bring the next picture on. There she is.
Yeah, wee bastardo. Amazing what a bit of time.
I don't look that good in a bikini. I'm not the first to say. We there are differences between women and between women and men. Right, let's move it on. What's going on here? Talk us through this.
Right, so I was working for British military circuits. It was just a little part-time job I was doing, and I really wanted a challenge. And I thought, right, I'm going to go from combat boots to high heels. As a natural athlete, just see what my body could do, but also, Matt, to get in the mindset of these women, a lot with body issues. And I tell you what, that might look great, and I had a giggle, but I wasn't happy there. You know, I'm happy now with my wee battle fat, that I call it, that I need before I go in for a run, you know, and building up some body fat. But it was a great experience. I'm not knocking it, and it gave me a lot of knowledge on my nutrition, my body, and mindset again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've know a few female athletes who have taken themselves to be able to win, because you won this competition, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, what you touch, you win, which is why Ultra Mirage, Elizabeth Barnes, you got to watch out. But we'll talk about that later on. So yeah, but yeah, I know other athletes. I think you ran into, or you know, Cara as well, don't you? Cara Webb has got a similar story where she. Actually, we might get Cara on the show. She's a great laugh as well, and she's a good role model and stuff. But yeah, we spoke at great length about how she just wasn't happy. She got to this stage, and now she's much happier eating, being on track, getting back into sports, and just kind of, you know, functioning strength.
And it's not attainable.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's great, and you're up there, and blah blah blah. But it's really, I mean, it's not glamorous. You've got sticky tan over you. You need to sleep in. You need to pee through a funnel.
Yeah, well, okay, let's not ruin the... let me just get this photo up before we start talking about peeing through funnels. There we go. Let me just... I don't want to see this photo and imagine there's a funnel just on the stone behind somewhere. Because it is... Yeah, don't tell us about the funnel. Because it is, I mean, it's testimony to what you can do if you put yourself through. It takes dedication. People don't realize. I think it's just, and this is all natural as well, which is another thing. Yeah. Especially for you, because you're very much, we can see from this photo, you're very much into your nutrition, aren't you? The plant-based. Yeah.
I went plant-based, and really, I mean, I eat a lot. I do intermittent fasting, but I'm actually now, since going plant-based, I originally did it when my mum got cancer, and I kind of read about all the animal fats, etc., and the proteins that are carcinogenic, and I did my own homework, and then I went plant-based, and my energy levels and my mood, everything went through the roof. But the main thing is I can eat what I want, and I don't need to worry about the putting the weight on, because I don't resist it. I don't do intense training now. I do my sea swims, I eat well, I nourish myself, and I think I'd like to pass that on to women a bit more. That body image isn't the be all and end all. It's not something we need to chase. But I think Elizabeth Barnes was the same. I think she's plant-based. And it's fantastic. I have my dark chocolate if I need it. I have all my little treats. And yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy with my nutrition now.
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, especially with us both being in Brighton, there's always been historically an interest in kind of moving away from the norm. So it's quite popular over here and easy if you do want to become. I remember I tried becoming vegetarian years ago, probably, Jesus Christ, we're talking about over a quarter of a century ago. Yeah. So back then, in Brighton, or Bright Helmstone, I think it was called then. But it was like, there was just food for friends. That was the only vegetarian restaurant. And that was like just a load of benches and kind of sloppy vegetarian food. And it was like, and it was impossible to survive. But these days, there's so much choice now, isn't there? If you do want to find an alternative diet. I mean, in Brighton, it's not alternative anymore. It's like 50-50, the amount of restaurants. So you've got no excuse anymore. Yeah, that's fascinating. And you did find energy changes, which is being documented now by studies. Health improvements. The research is catching up now with regards to that.
Yeah, huge energy surges. Really helped me in my training. And I mean, you can have, I mean, what did I have last night? I had jackfruit fajitas, and they were like, it was like pulled pork. And I'm not meaning eating lettuce. I'm meaning good high protein, meaty, tasty dishes. You know, it's I mean, I don't preach about it, but it works for me. It's working for a lot of athletes I know, and in my 40s, I've never felt better, and I don't need to work too hard with keeping, you know, aesthetically, you know, in top form.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why vegetarianism and veganism is becoming popular now, because it used to be a case where how do you know if you're talking to a vegan? Because they'll tell you. It used to be that very much. Do you know what I mention I was a vegan? Did I mention I don't? And it's like it's just in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
But now, like, looking at you, you do not. I mean, it used to be a case of if someone was vegan, they'd be white and pale and kind of floating away and just kind of like surrounded by joss sticks. And it's just that's not the case anymore. You've got plenty of athletes and healthy looking above normal healthy looking people who are following that sort of diet. So it's a fascinating one, hopefully, and people will. It still might not be for everyone. That's the biggest rule, isn't it? You know, it depends on your own physiology and your own lifestyle, but definitely an avenue that people should explore a bit more.
Pursuing, and maybe even 2 or 3 meals out the day being 100% plant-based, you know, like quinoa, slow releasing carbs, like the jackfruit, you know, a bean burger, you know, there's a lot of, and just kind of play with it and watch your energy levels, because yeah, now it's definitely the way forward for me. So if I can help anyone, including yourself, Biggin.
Is there any, was it purely health reasons for you, or is there any kind of consciousness of animal welfare and that sort of stuff?
To begin with, health. And now, yeah, it's more towards I couldn't eat an animal now. It's just that's I mean, I know I used to try and catch rabbits and kill them and eat them, and a couple of courses I did in the military.
Yeah, I just got an image. I can imagine that. In fact, we've got a video here.
I don't know if it was that and I was hallucinating, because they hadn't fed us for 3 days. We were on half an oxo cube, but we caught the bloody thing. But for me now, yes, I think it's the ethics as well. I personally couldn't go back to eating an animal.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I mean, I was vegetarian for a while, and then I went to live in Spain, and in Spain at that time it was impossible, because in Spain, like, you ask for vegetarian baguette and they give you ham, thinking, well, ham's not really, that was how it was. So it was just, and you'd be spending half an hour trying to pick everything out of a paella, which is impossible. But since I had my kids and that, and I was like taking them around farms and going, look at those cute little piglets suckling off their mum, let's go now have a, it just didn't make sense to me. It made me feel guilty. And they can do what they want, but it kind of rekindled that. And also I just think there's this desensitivity that the general public has got now. They just switch their minds off to the fact of how we know a lot of the mass production of meat, where it comes from, the state of the animals, you know, it's not a question of whether it's our right to eat animals. It's like, is it the right to keep these animals in these conditions? You know, it's just horrendous.
I've watched a few things, and I've got a really good friend. He works with like the MotoGP guys, and he's 100% plant-based, and he said a really good point, and he was like, you know, most of the people that eat meat, if the animal was in front of them, they wouldn't kill it. You know, but they're prepared still to, and it's 100% right. And I've seen the documentaries Cowspiracy, and then I looked into a bit more, and the standards that they're put in, and all the wee baby chickens just slaughtered, and it's cruel. And suicide rate, and these guys that work at these what are they called? Not mortuaries. What's it?
Abattoirs.
Yeah. You know, the depression and the suicide rate is high.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah, another thing that I would never do it again, and that's my morals now. So, yeah. Anyway,
so let's see what's up next in the This Is Your Life with Lisa Shabbas. Let's have a quick flick through. Oh yeah, so this is just, there's a few more photos of you and your gangs, and because that's another thing which obviously you do, is it's not only your own life you're sorting out, you're helping a lot of other people. So this was, you're quite into your CrossFit. Is that still the case, or?
Yeah, that was awesome. Quite important in my wee journey, because when I joined that gym, and this is what got me onto the ultra running, which I hope a lot of people that are listening, if they're thinking about an ultra, might get a lot from this. But I was doing the CrossFit, and I was only up to 10k. That was it. I hadn't done a marathon since 2003, so my cardio was poor. I'd been there, and there was an amazing guy that inspired me there that had prosthetics. Murray was his name, and I saw all the challenges and the running and the events these guys were doing with prosthetic limbs, and a lot of them ex-military. So it really spurred me on to do a challenge. I thought, bugger this, if they can do it, let's raise some money for Blesma and do it. And no word of a lie, I thought, what will I do? I like the cold and I can't run. So I thought, right, a desert in the bloody a marathon in the bloody desert.
As you do, yeah.
I must have done, hand in heart, I think I had 6 weeks to train, and I only ran 3 times 20 miles. So not the probably standard running thing, but I didn't really hire a coach. I just thought, mind over matter. Went out to the desert, bloody loved it. Loved it. Did the first marathon and I jogged it, and then the elite runners were like, you're joining us tomorrow, we're setting off earlier, you're with the elites. And I thought, are you joking? But something took over in that desert, Matt, and the cold water had prepped me, believe it or not, with the brown fat that had accumulated, with my mindset, and I had such a peace and calmness out there. Met some amazing people, and I didn't put pressure on myself. I didn't think about a time or this or that. I thought, fuck the numbers. As my good friend Lee Ewan says, my Wim Hof guy, switch the head off. This is about the mindset. Don't put pressure. And came in the top. I think I was in the top 9 and loved it.
Loved it. Brilliant. So once again, just discovering you put your mind to something and you were naturally quite good at it, or very good at it. Yeah, so that was down in where was that one? That was the Sahara, Morocco. So it was about 8 hours we travelled in. Yeah, the Morocco Sahara. It was fantastic. Met a couple of people that had lost people, and we were naming stars after them at night. We really bonded. 40-degree heat, but we weren't, no, there was no sweat, and there was date trees and camels, and very cathartic, may I add. Not about the running. Not about the running. Not around. Well, that's let me just bring this up. And that brings us nicely on to I want to talk about, you mentioned Wim Hof and the cold and that, but I can hear myself in the background. Oh no, it stopped. It's okay. This brings us on to the Ultra Mirage, because this is something which coincidentally I've got pleasurably involved with these guys because they're a great outfit. Fantastic. And I think we're both going to end up there, aren't we? In September. Oh, we are.
You're the margarita man at the finish.
Exactly. I'll be propping up the bar somewhere. I'm not going to be running it myself, I don't think. Although I've got to admit, my running has, when there's something in the distance, I'm always telling my clients, if you really want to train well, sensibly, then just set yourself a little goal, set yourself an A goal, set yourself a competition of some form. And now I've got this, I know I'm not going to run it. I'm going to actually not take any running gear at all, because I do not want to run it.
Cold water. We'll do cold water therapy.
Yeah. Don't convince me. Don't use your special tactics. I know what you're doing here.
You'll smash it.
But I have, I've been out running 4 times this week, and I never do 4 times running. It is knowing it's there and knowing you'll be there, and it's like, and looking forward to meeting up with some of the fantastic people I've had the pleasure of talking with. I mean, it's going to be a great. They changed the date recently, haven't they? I think we've got them watching now, but they've changed the date, didn't they? It was going to be later on. It's a week earlier now, isn't it, or something?
Aye, fantastic.
September the 28th. Yeah. Say again?
You could interview us while you're running.
Oh, for God's sake.
What do you think, viewers? Vote for yes.
So, you're looking forward to it, yeah? Return to the sand.
I've made contact. Is it Raya?
Yes.
Beautiful lady. And I've watched the video they did, Matt, and where they kind of filmed Star Wars, and I've looked at all the runners, the energy, and I can just, you know, when you just get a feeling, this is for me, this is the next one, and it gave me goosebumps. What a lovely community.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I had the pleasure of talking to the director, Amir, as well. And again, I mean, there's a lot. It's becoming very popular now, ultras, and also the idea of going, you know, to a desert to do one. But what a great group and what a great guy. And we were talking about also the thing which kind of touched me was I remember when they had the whole terrible year in Tunisia with the tragedies and all that occurred. And it was kind of, you know, heartwarming to hear how they're trying so much just to get rid of this, the way it affected the country and the tourism naturally. But you know, it's an isolated event, and now it's probably one of the safest places in the world, and they're just trying to turn their economy around and using running to do that. And the people there are supposed to be so warm. Well, I've seen so far from the Tunisians I've met, lovely people. I think Elizabeth, again, she was talking about, I don't know if I read it, or she was talking about like running around and just locals waving at her and smiling and putting their thumbs up and just pleased to see, you know, people from other countries. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be here before we know it, September.
Oh, can't wait.
Oh, how exciting.
So many.
I might have a little job in the desert somewhere. I don't know, maybe I will take some trains. I'll take a bikini and some trains. We'll see. Anyway, so let's get on to, there's been quite a lot of interest when I said I was going to be talking to you, because let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. I think this picture sums it up. Well, no, it doesn't sum it up, but it'll get interest. Where is she? There we go. Right. Explain yourself, woman. All this talk about you being a role model for women, and it's just back to basic. Well, you tell me about it. What's going on?
So what this is it's a mind over matter. You come out, and again with the mindset, and I'll go on a bit more about the breath, because it plays such a big part that it almost doesn't become about the cold. It's the breath and the mindset. Now, this is a specific way that you go into a horse stance where you're activating the biggest muscles, you know, like your quads and your glutes, and you're swaying. And what it does is you have to just allow the cold in. You surrender with it, and you don't go, oh, I'm cold, and start shaking. So this is like the dance you'll see Wim Hof doing, and it works. It's absolutely fantastic. And then we added a bit of jungle music to this to make it a laugh.
So Wim Hof. Okay, so it's becoming very popular. He's becoming very popular. I listened to Joe Rogan, had him on the podcast. That was a good one. I know you listened to Joe Rogan as well, which was great.
Yeah.
So let's imagine there's someone out there who's not very familiar with Wim Hof. What's it all about?
Right, so Wim Hof, I mean, you have to go on and research him, but he's basically kind of defied the kind of medical world with his knowledge and his depth, and the way he's changed the physiology of his body to withstand serious cold temperatures and kind of shock to the body. And it's just, it's an absolutely unbelievable experience. Completely changed my training and my mindset. Again, quite pivotal for me. So going out there, I thought I wanted to get another challenge, you know, up the sea swims. And then when I got out there, I realised it wasn't about the ice. I got Wim Hofed by an amazing guy called Lee Ewan. And I really believe it's an instructor. He had us such a calm, fantastic setting. There was numerous people, you know, so many different personalities, some that were going through quite traumatic things in life, some CEOs, some athletes, some yoga people. And I won't say too much because I want you to come to the workshop in May, Matt. But he took us to a place through kind of hyperventilating and using the breath. And I've done breath work, but this was unbelievable. So we do certain rounds of this breathing technique, and I think I must have got to the third or fourth round, and I wasn't surrendering. I wasn't trusting my body. And he said the magic words. He said, everything you need is in your body now. All the oxygen, all the breath. And do you know what? I didn't take a deep breath, because after doing that, you want to gulp for air. And I swear to God, when I lay down, I could feel a strong connection to my breath, body and mind that I've tried to get through in sports, and I've nearly been there, but it was so powerful that after, when we actually got down the Avento, which is the name for the ice hole, I eased into that, and hand in heart, Matt, I didn't have a fear or care in the world. It was an absolutely amazing, if you surrender to it. And I think we get too comfortable. We get a bit of discomfort and fear and we run. Fight or flight comes in for a moment. But when you actually manage to control it, surrender and breathe to it, it takes you to depths I've not been before. So I absolutely loved it.
Okay, so I'm hoping that most people watching this are thinking, oh, anecdotal evidence, N equals 1. Yeah, she had a good time and felt amazing about it. Because that's what one of my goals of this podcast originally was, to put a little bit of evidence back into not just running, but just exercise and physiology and science. But it's not really, I mean, this Wim Hof guy, once you do the research, and there's so much rubbish out there, but he actually has stood up, hasn't he? He's proved himself. Was it 26 world records for people who aren't aware?
Yeah.
He's done some crazy stuff. I mean, he's famous for immersing himself in the ice bath. I think that was like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Which again, people might go, all right, then he's a bit crazy. But then he's done marathons in just shorts up Kilimanjaro. He's climbed. He even did a marathon in one of the deserts, Namibia desert or something, in like 35 degrees without having any water. He's hung himself, I think, by one finger just from a rope a mile up in the air between two balloons or something, all based on this idea that he can willfully change what is supposed to be an involuntary autoimmune defense system by tapping in using this visualization process and this. And the interesting thing is, because, you know, when I'd already heard of him before you got involved, and then you got involved, and I was like, right, let's just put on my cynical hat. Let's be a bit of a scientist, because I teach A&P, and I've taught it like for years. And it's like the defense system, the autoimmune system is involuntary. You can't tap into it. It's like science. It's one of the few things, or one of the things we do know. But the more I look into the studies, there seems to be science before Wim Hof and then science after Wim Hof, because he's opened himself up to the critics, to the scientists. He's had tests done on himself. And encourage anybody to look at the studies that were done in 2012 and 15, I think, because he's shown with scientists testing various markers in his body that by going through this technique, which you've undergone, he can actually change his immune system. He can, where other people start getting, I think they used like some form of bacteria, I can't remember which one it was, put it into his bloodstream to see the result of his body fighting against it, and he just got a headache, whereas everyone else got the flu. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, and I'm still skeptical, because that's what makes me me, and I still want to disprove it. But anyone out there who is interested in Wim Hof, the research is actually pretty good. You know,
I think it's good to be skeptical, but I think science is an ever-evolving field, and we can't always go back to old textbooks. There's a guy, Joe Dispenza, I follow, that's cured many things through mind-body. Wim Hof has proved he's changed his physiology, and that's what I was intrigued by. You know, I have to go and experience it. It was like the bodybuilding. I had to go and see what my body could do before I had an opinion. And it's not even the calmness and like the anti-inflammatory benefits, the autoimmune. It's reversing things like fibromyalgia and a lot of autoimmune disease, which sometimes the kind of Western world, there's a few people out there that their whole thesis and careers will be in the line because they are saying different. So when anything comes out like this, you are going to get skeptical, and so it's always a good thing to experience it yourself. Now, I know from the cold water that the brown fat build-up that I'd built, I knew when the people were dropping like flies in the desert, I didn't need the food. I didn't need the extra energy. I had built up that natural brown fat. I also read after a 50 miler I did, I wouldn't be able to run again for at minimum 2 weeks or a week. I did 3 cold water immersions. I was back 5 days later running. So the anti-inflammation and everything that I was really interested about it, I proved to myself, well, not to his depths of you know, having viruses injected, but I saw 100% where this could go for people suffering from autoimmune or, you know, inflammation, which now they're saying with inflammation, it's, you know, it's the cause of, you know, a good 90% of diseases these days. So from me experience it, I'm hooked and I want to take it further. And I'd love for you to be at the workshop and we'll put you in a big ice bath afterwards.
You sell it so well. I remember there was a classic photo of me after one of the Brighton marathons. I think it was with, it was with my nephew, Mitchell's son, who was loving just filling up this bath full of ice that I was sitting in. And his face was just, and then he was testing it with the temperature, seeing how cold he is, get it? And it was a great photo. But yeah, athletes, we've played around for ice for a long time. There is also studies which suggest that after particularly strenuous workouts, your body needs a certain amount of inflammation. And that's kind of, I mean, because I think about maybe 2 years ago, there was quite a few articles based on this study which suddenly said all this idea that ice is good for you after exercise is a little bit bro science. It's kind of like, it feels like doing something extreme after workout's going to be good. But yeah, so there are studies which show that, yeah, after exercise, your body needs inflammation. If you immerse yourself in ice, it's going to slow down that natural inflammation you need to repair your body. How does that tie? Is that something they mentioned on the course? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go along, they don't promote that as what to do after a workout. So in fact, it's quite the opposite. If I was doing heavy weights, my muscles are broken down, all the blood flow that goes into the repair, and then the muscle grows. So I wouldn't interrupt that process. But what I do is I do the cold water early in the morning or after a run, but definitely not after intense weights. And you want to get the mental health benefits, and that is first thing in the morning, cold shower. So I will jog lightly up to the waterfront, and then I'll go in. And I'll do it after cardio, and I'll do it post a big run for repair. I've built my wee ice bath out there. She's called Betsy. So in mornings, yeah, some mornings I'm beastly, and I just have to think, right, sort your head out. I fill her up with cold water, some ice, boom. So I get what you're saying, going back to your original point, but it's definitely, a lot of people post things and they've not actually done the course and things get a bit confused, but definitely not like Wim Hof Method and a lot of ice after a heavy weight session. Because you are disrupting nature's way of building up that muscle again. But definitely the day after, when you've got aches and pains, like I said, I couldn't walk into the sea. My legs were so full of lactic acid. My hips had gone. And once that sea almost just held me and I could kick my legs again, I walked out and then I did another one. And within 5 days, Matt, I was doing gentle jogging again. So big believer in it.
Yeah. So it's great to hear that the actual instructors are aware of the other literature as well, and it's exciting times. We'll see where it goes to, because again, the studies has shown it's not just him. I mean, there was an argument, yeah, okay, so this guy's a freak of nature, brilliant, he can do all these incredible things, but what use is that if it's just him? But there's a study where he trained, I think 12, 15 other people, and they also showed the same effect after after testing the immune system with a bacteria. So we'll have to keep watching these pages, won't we? So you mentioned a couple of times now you got a course coming to Brighton, then, have you?
I do. So I was Wim Hofed by an Australian guy called Lee Ewan, and he was the one. It's always the coach, and he was a fantastic coach. He knew that I had a bit of grit, a bit of resistance. So he knew that this was what I had to do, just to surrender to it. And he's got such a fantastic way of coaching this, and he does a lot of events with Wim Hof. And I just, after the workshop, I just thought there's so many people that I want, and that I know this will benefit, whether it's stress or just people wanting to improve their running, their breath work. So very lucky he's agreed to come over. We're doing 2 days. I'm taking Betsy the ice bath, and it's just going to be bringing Wim Hof Method to Brighton and so much more. It's about sharing it now, Matt. Definitely.
And this is happening at another local hero, isn't it? Isn't it Alex's place?
It's Alex, yeah.
We were lucky enough again because I do like to try once a month or once every 2 months to have like a local hero which people know. And Alex Backhouse of Alex Backhouse Strength and Conditioning, yeah, he was on the show and he's a great character. So what, this is going to be at his place?
It is, because he's going to be doing an ultra run. So with the breath work and the cold, I want it to prep them as much as it's prepped and helped me. So he's holding it as his studio. I'll put in the link below. I think if you were there, Matt, that you would change your mind about Ultra Mirage.
Oh, there's quite a few factors which, it's multifactorial, my decision. Yeah. No, I'll definitely try and come up. What day is it on?
It's May the 11th and May the 12th. We've got a workshop in both days.
Okay, right. Well, we'll make sure the link is put in the notes and stuff.
Awesome.
And if they want to find out more information on it, is it on a website somewhere, or where can people find out about it?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page.
Okay, which is just Lisa Shabbas. Facebook. Shabbas. There's only one Lisa Shabbas.
There's only one.
Okay, so if people want some information, then May the 11th and the 12th, and they can check you out on Facebook. There's information on it.
Yeah. It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. And seriously, Matt, I'd love to have you there. And it's doing a lot for a lot of people, and that's my reasoning behind it. You know,
I suppose it's always going to be multifactorial as well, because I mean, if you're willing to immerse yourself in ice, then you're probably also keeping an eye on what you eat. You're probably also engaged in a certain form of exercise. You're probably at a mindset where you want to make a difference. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, and it's so difficult to test these things, what effect it would have on someone who's not actually looking after themselves in other respects. Because otherwise you can't isolate it, can you?
Yeah, we had 4 people at that event, and all had their things going on, like with alcoholism and stress and poor diet. Some had never had a cold shower, and at the end of it.
Oh, right. So they weren't all people into health and fitness already then?
No, this is for all, Matt, because it's hard. Life's hard. We can't have it all with people that have got their diet and their mindset and everything squared away. It's really hard to encompass all of that and to chase it. And that's where maybe I've gone wrong in the past. And this just shows you a way that once you're connected to yourself, you surrender a bit and you just give into it. You kind of see what you're capable of. It gives you really good clarity, strength, and you let a lot of the garbage go and baggage. I'm trying to not swear.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Working hard.
Okay, then. Well, no, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to commit to it and say yes. You're not going to get that on camera, but I will definitely put those dates in my diary and see. What day is the 11th and the 12th? Is that weekend? Is it
Saturday and Sunday?
Okay, that sounds all right then.
Saturday and Sunday, so it'll be awesome. You are going to commit to Ultra Mirage, my margarita.
Oh yeah, no. Well, again, it's because I'm teaching. It's tricky, but yeah, I hope to be. I mean, I'm like 95% sure I will be. At Ultra Mirage.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's some great people I'm really looking forward to meeting, and also just tracking your progress as well. I'm over there, so it'd be great.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's chat a bit more about Ultra Mirage. So where are we? March at the moment, coming up to April, or May, or June, or July, or August, or September. So kind of 6 months. Yeah, so what about training for that? Is anything that's going to change, or are you embarking on? Are you going to go on any of the workshops, or are you going to go and run in some sand?
No, I'm going to stick to my cold water and my plants and my breath work. I really believe in my heart now that that's enough.
What about running though?
I'll dabble in it, but
You can't just... So for those people who aren't aware what the Ultra Mirage is,
I think I'm
it's
doing
100k
Brighton.
sand with 6 kind of, you got to do it within 24 hours, haven't you? And yeah, I'm just putting a public warning out there. Having a cold shower in the morning and kind of breathing isn't going to get you through this, regardless of what Shabbas says. What's your running involved? What are you doing running wise? Are you upping your distance? How many miles are you doing a week?
I've got the Brighton marathon, I think, in April.
Right.
And then I'll stick between 10 and 18. I'll come in and see you for my gate. Be very relaxed. I wasn't aware of a 24-hour timeline, but I think I can get around that. Stick a plant up my tush.
Yeah, no. When you look at the video, you can see there's quite a few DNAs. They're still DNFs. They're still kind of excited, and they got loads out of it. But yeah, I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's 24 hours to actually. Yeah, a bit like Brighton Marathon when they start sweeping up, and there's still people running around.
Right, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd love to I'll look into a camp. I know Elizabeth Barnes was doing one. Is it Lanzarote?
Yeah. There's quite a few people out there. She obviously does hers, but it's kind of recommended.
Okay.
Yeah, just to get used to those temperatures and the sand and just some techniques. Because it was interesting what she was saying as well in terms of strength and conditioning. I mean, you when you ran in your desert marathon, was it particularly sandy?
Sandy point, sandy rock, through little. It was a real mix of things, but I would say there was a majority. It was sandy in the second day. Yeah, they had us going through the dunes. Rock, red rock, a real variation, Matt.
So did you find you were having to kind of like, because Elizabeth made a very good point of where with running, where you're bouncing along, you're hopping, you slam your foot into the ground and you get that energy. But with the sand running, especially when it's deeper sand, then you're having to drag your legs up. So you're using your hip flexors and your quads. So it's just because you can run, not you, but if someone goes over there thinking they can run, it's not going to be the same going through sand.
Absolutely, it does drag your foot. It does exhaust you quite quickly. But I had such a good experience. Yes, I will do a little bit of training, of course, coming into it, and I think now I will maybe enlist the help of someone like, Elizabeth Barnes, who this is her, this is her field. So I definitely might do a camp out in Lanzarote, but I won't put a lot of stress on myself, Matt. Those days are gone. I know I can do it. I'm not looking to come in the top 10, or I just want to go out there, complete it, good mindset, and enjoy the people, enjoy the day. That's my reasons for the ultra runs. As I said, cathartic, good energy. And we might do a little live after I do Elizabeth's camp, see if my mindset might change. So I'll keep you posted with that. But
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I've just seen actually it's actually 20 hours. It's a 20-hour time limit. Doesn't mean you get chucked out, but yeah.
20 hours and it's 100k, isn't it? 60 miles.
Yeah. You'll be fine. Yeah,
I did my 50 miler in 9.5. I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
A margarita at the end for me. Just dangle it with the salt.
And then the other great thing, which Amir, when we had him on, Amir Ben Gaston, the director and founder of Ultra Mirage, is the prize money is the same for men and women, which is really a big thing. Like there's probably no other sports where that happens, because it's always like pay-per-view or how many bums and seats. But they made it, he made sure that it was clear that whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to get the same amount of money for winning this event because you're running the same race.
Fantastic.
It sounds obvious, doesn't it?
It does.
Why wouldn't it be?
It's something we shouldn't even be really debating.
I know.
A human being's a human being.
It's economy. If not so many people want to see you, you're not going to make so much money. But that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Business, isn't it?
It's business, but hopefully it's changing.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see.
How much is the prize money?
That's another thing. I think it's about 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 euros, split equally. Yeah, between male and female fields. Yeah, which in the world of ultra running is a generous amount as well. You know, it's surprisingly how little. But if anybody, say again.
It'll be a great event.
And it's cheap to go over as well. I mean, it's considering what they give, the package and the 4-star hotels and the bus services, and anyone still interested who's watching or listening to the podcast and debating on whether to go, don't let price kind of be one of your top factors, because it's cheaper than you would imagine, considering you're getting 4 nights accommodation and food, you know, and a bus to and from the airport.
Absolutely. And 6 months is, 6 months is plenty time to train.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching this and they think they've not, if they don't have time, 6 months is very doable. If you've got the right mindset, if you've done a half marathon, boom, just book it, take part in the event, because it's quite a life-changing event, an ultra. It's a beautiful thing.
And if they need some help and some big me up, then they can always contact you, can't they? And reach out.
Absolutely.
As someone who's been there, done it, knows all their stuff. They just might find themselves in an ice bath and a beanie and a bikini.
Yeah.
Anything you've got to watch out for. Right, it's 2:26 already. That was probably one of the quickest hours I've had. I know, that hour just disappeared.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, it just flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we've announced the workshop. That's fantastic, on May the 11th and 12th. For further details, they can find you on Facebook. We know that you're going to be going to Ultra Mirage, which is something people can find out more information about by going to ultramirage.com. Is there anything else coming up? Are you still, if people want to join your morning swims, is that kind of a private club, or do they just, where do they go?
I've got me a message on Facebook. I've got a business page coming up, From Beast to Being. So I'll put a link in that later, but get me on Facebook. I'm going to be running quite a few packages. A lot of people that want to do their first marathon, their first sea swim, just getting the mindset right, the nutrition right, boom. So anyone wants to give me a wee message, that's good. Only 3 times 20. Oh, I thought you'd done that as well, Karen. Karen joined me in Ultra Mirage.
Oh, is she? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we've had a few comments. I try and bring up the comments as and when they come, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Any questions, I'll get back to everyone. Really happy to help and to share this. It's a great world, the ice and the ultras.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you as always for taking time out to join us on a Sunday afternoon.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure we'll see each other very soon. And if people want to contact you, even if you're not local to Brighton, and obviously these days with the wonderful internet, they can contact you via Facebook is your best bet, is it? Because you're also quite active on Instagram.
Instagram, again, Lisa Shabbas. I do online coaching, both with Facebook and with Instagram. Or any just tips to get you into the water, any fears, any young girls out there that just want to get a little bit of the beast going, to get them into any challenges, then let's do it. And hugely thanks for all the viewers, and to you, Matt. It's awesome.
Brilliant, no worries. No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Love your tips. You've helped me with my gait, and yeah, you've always been part of my wee journey. So
pleasure to be part of it. Right. Okay.
Nice one.
I'm going to chuck you off the screen again now, and I'm going to say goodbye to people, and we'll catch up very soon.
Lovely.
All right, Lisa. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, the wonderful Lisa Shabbas. Like I say, if you're listening to the podcast, and it's well worth having a look at Lisa, because I just love the way when she goes into kind of serious mode, that's what it's all about. It's a bit like Alex Backhouse. It's that kind of life-changing thing where someone's giving you quality information, but also they've got that magnetism. So yeah, as always, the podcasts, excuse me, they do go up into YouTube for that very reason. So yeah, check us out. What have we got coming up? So we've got a few great guests coming up now. I've sorted myself out, and I thought I'd let you know, rather than saying just check the social feed, I'll let you know what's coming up. Next week, Mother's Day, This has worked out very well because this is a guest who I wanted to have a couple of months back, and there was a bit of a mix-up because she will be talking to us from New York, I think, this time. Definitely from America. It's the wonderful Tina Muir, who was supposed to be chatting about her book released about a month ago now, on amenorrhea, on the fact that a lot of female runners and ultra runners think that missing periods or having a regular menstrual cycle is just a normal part of being a dominant, successful female runner, when it's not. It's something which you should never really happen, and you need to get checked out. We need to get over that stigma. So Tina's been through it, written a book about it, and she will be joining us to talk about that and her experiences next week. Okay, so just 7 days time. So I'll put something up on Facebook so you can bookmark that and it'll remind you. A couple of weeks after that, we've got the Mr. Jack Chu. So we're going way back to the early days of Twitter and Facebook, one of the pioneers of evidence-based thinking, back when we were all getting into it, with the Physio Matters podcast. So we managed to get Chu of Chu's Health as well to come on, and that's going to be very exciting, particularly for other health professionals out there, healthcare professionals, especially physios, because Jack is making some fantastic waves in changing, reforming practice with physiotherapy. He's doing exactly what I personally thought would be very difficult. It's slow, but it's successful, and he's already changing the way that we think what physiotherapy should be and what it should involve. So yeah, that will be a few weeks with Jack Chu. We've also got the marvelous Derek Griffin coming up, who hopefully, if you're a therapist, you will have heard of as well. Running fans, we've got JF Asculia coming up later on as well, where we're going to hopefully have some great conversations about footwear, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that and more. We've got more and more. Christopher Johnson is in the pipeline as well of ZMPT. So yeah, stay tuned, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed today's chat with Lisa Shabbas. We're 2 minutes over time now, so I better say goodbye. But yes, do please subscribe, like us, especially on iTunes, because that helps the podcast go up, so more people see it. Basically, the more people we get watching, then the better, because that's what it's all about. Just spreading this good word out there. So thank you very much again for joining us. My name is Matt Phillips, and hopefully we'll see you next week with Tina Weir on RunChatLive. Have a great rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.
You're listening to RunChatLive podcast, putting the evidence back into running injury and performance.